those tires. Hit your marks and let's go racing, boys and girls. NASCAR, Indycar, Formula One, and Formula E racing talk. This is the fastest hour in radio.
He's going to do it. He's going to win the race and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. California's Kevin Harvick-Cousin. Holy cow! Chase Elliott is going to become the NASCAR Nationwide Series champion for 2014.
For the second year in a row, Matt Crafton is the Camping World Truck Series champion.
3 times he has been denied an Indycar championship. Well, not anymore. Will Power is an Indycar champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2014 FIA Formula One World Champion, Lewis Hamilton.
Here's your host, Steve West and Dustin Harbour.
As we get ready to head into the Christmas and New Year's season, this will be one of the last times you hear that intro, by the way.
Yes.
Because we're about ready to redo all of that.
Are you telling me something, Steve?
Yes. Some of the things that you have to work on while you're on quote-unquote vacation.
It's not a vacation.
You're not. You're going to have a working vacation because next weekend and the weekend after that, because of, well, holiday things that happen behind the scenes, we're not just going to be 1 hour. We're not going to be even like we were on Thanksgiving weekend when we were 90 minutes. We're going to go for a full 2 hours the day after Christmas and the day after New Year's.
I love that.
There you
I'm
go.
going to be out of town.
And of course, you're going to be out of
happen.
town, which means after the show, I get to beat you about the head and face, liberally.
Okay.
Because,
fine.
dude, you should be here for this. I don't know where
It's
your
Christmas.
I don't know where your priorities are.
It's Christmas.
How are you, Dustin?
I'm awesome, man. I'm
fantastic.
Just looking forward to a 14-hour road trip.
There you go. Yeah, on your way to Maryland right after the show. John
man.
running the board. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Finally, the show I've been waiting for all week long is here.
There you go. We got
Miss
it
you
going on.
guys.
We are a full studio today. As we go through the day, we have from Talladega Short Track, the man who has been a constant here on the show, quite frankly, although we missed him last weekend. He was like doing something for his birthday or something like that. Whatever.
Shame on him.
Again, I don't know what his priorities are.
Yeah.
It's not like he's got racing as a top of mind thing.
Apparently, he didn't get a chance to get away either because he's like, if I sneak away, I'm going to make a phone call.
Yeah, apparently no sneaking away happened, late model Mark.
Negative. Was having way too much fun as the missus and I were hitting 4 aces on Saturday morning. I was a little preoccupied. So
I understand.
We had a very good time in the Gold Strike, but I'm glad to talk race today. Finally, Short Track Saturday. We can talk about the local scene in depth. I'm pumped.
Yep, looking forward to it. And one of the guys who is the champion of one of the divisions out at Talladega Short Track, Jay, the man known as the Thriller, Schiller, is in the studio. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Glad
We
to be
appreciate everything, man. We have the show logo on a car.
Yes. You can't get any better than that.
This is so cool. We've seen the pictures. I can't wait to see the car up in person. And he had stickers made up, which now I got to figure out exactly, because that's going on my car.
I already know where
I just
mine's
got to
going.
figure out exactly where I'm going to go, because I do kind of use that rear view mirror. So I need to figure out exactly where on the car I'm putting it. But it is going on the car.
I don't need the rear window.
Steve, you can put it on the hood.
Yeah.
Might just do that.
We'll get you a number from the door.
Just do that.
If you can't fit it on the car, my truck's available.
Well, we might have to
get
get
you one
another
made.
sticker. Yeah, we might have to get another sticker made. So as we talk about it, and we had from Penton, Alabama last week, Penton Raceway.
Yeah, Penton Raceway.
Penton Raceway down in east central Alabama.
Yeah, we had Clint's C.W. Stanton.
Yeah, so,
on the show.
you know, that kind of...
He knows you.
Clint.
Yeah,
I dropped your name. He says, I know Mark.
Yeah,
that was kind of a neat little debut, if you will, and kind of an intro into what it is that we're going to talk about today, because while we talk at Talladega Short Track, and now we've been introduced, if you will, to Penton Raceway, we've heard about Huntsville's, the Mobiles, the Montgomerys, the Pensacola's Five Flag Speedway, things like that. We want to also make sure that you understand that there are a whole lot more short tracks, both asphalt and dirt, out there that you need to be able to go and try and put on your agenda to check out.
Yeah,
I got some news about the Snowball Derby. We'll do a little later in the show. A very interesting turn of events. I think you'll find very interesting, to say the least.
I love it. He always keeps us hanging.
There is something. That said, and I hate to start off on a down note, but we need to mention this because found out yesterday evening that the wife of the legendary race car driver Bobby Allison, member of the Alabama gang and all, Judy Allison, has passed away. The Allison family released a statement about her passing yesterday, and it reads as follows, quote, "The Allison family is sad to announce the passing of Judy A. Allison after complications from surgery earlier today, Friday, at Iredell Memorial Hospital in Statesville, North Carolina. Bobby Allison, NASCAR Hall of Fame driver, and Judy were married 55 years. Good stuff. Love it when I can see stuff like that.
Yeah.
The statement continued. She was surrounded by her family, daughters Bonnie Farr and Carrie Hewitt, grandson Robbie Allison, brother-in-law Donnie Allison, and his wife Pat. At this time, funeral and memorial arrangements are pending and will be announced when finalized. The family members asked for privacy during this difficult and sad time. Rick Carley, WBRC in Birmingham, Fox 6, said that it is almost 100% guaranteed she will be interred in Bessemer next to her sons Davey and Clifford, who we have obviously well known here in the state. They passed away in 1992 and 1993, respectively, Clifford and then Davey. So it's a sad day. Little more detail from Rick Carley said that, and we don't know what the surgery was for, but she apparently had a heart attack following it and passed away at the age of 74. So our thoughts and our prayers go out to the friends and family of the Allison family, because it's a sad day, no doubt about it. I had the chance, and I said this one time, I've only met Judy one time and noted her to be actually rather quiet, because the day was actually Bobby's day. It was about 2006, I want to say, at the old Birmingham International Raceway. I could make a comment about Larry Langford, but that's not the time. Bobby came down, he was signing books, and I went down and interviewed him. And the thing that sticks out to me about Bobby is every time he has ever talked about it, and he's always been willing to talk about the 1979 Daytona 500. And every time he talks about specifically the aftermath, it is consistent every time. He talks about them getting into the fight and how Cale Yarborough went to beating on Bobby's fist with Cale's nose. And it's that way every single time. And that just, I remember that so well. But I remember Judy, she was there, but she was in the background. She wasn't going to say much. She was just quiet. She was just letting Bobby have his time. And that's the one time that I actually had the chance to meet Judy. You said you have never had the chance to meet either one of them.
No, not yet. I'm hoping one of these times I get a chance to meet Bobby. It's just a shame I never get a chance to meet Judy.
I have never met the man. I only got to see him race. Matter of fact, he won in a AMC Javelin at Ontario Motor Speedway.
Yes, he did.
I saw him win that race, and that was quite cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the old red, white, and blue paint scheme?
I believe so. It was 1974, if I'm not mistaken, 73 or 74.
Jay, you've been out there racing a lot. Obviously, you've met and talked, I'm sure, quite a few times with Alabama gang member Red Farmer. Ever had the chance to talk with Bobby?
Yes, I have talked to Bobby. I've seen him at Talladega, the Hall of Fame. They was doing a promote deal over there. We all went there and just walked through and got to talk to him.
You ever had the chance to talk to Judy?
No, I didn't.
No.
She wouldn't with him at the time.
It's a shame. It really is.
Yeah.
It's sad, especially when you think about the fact that we're less than a week away from Christmas time.
It's horrible at the holidays.
Yeah,
it
is, no doubt. So, again, our thoughts and prayers here at the Fastest Hour in Radio go out to the Allison family. We do have one race to talk about this week.
Well, they are race cars.
They are.
They're labeled.
They're weird. But
they don't make any noise.
So weirdly intriguing to me. I have no idea why. FIA Formula E Series back into action. They're down in South America, specifically in the country of Uruguay. You're going to run the Punta del Este Grand Prix. It's airing on Fox Sports 2 coming up later today, Saturday, as we air live here on Saturday. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. In just over 1 mile long in the downtown area, these guys are going to make 20 turns. That's crazy.
It's overkill.
Yeah. To a large extent, I think you're right. That said, you can call in 941-1011, toll free 866-551-9933. Other ways that you can get in touch with us include social media.
That's right. You can find us on Twitter at Fastest Hour. We've got 694 followers on there now.
Nice.
I like that.
And
we've had a lot of interaction this week, so it's been actually great to talk to some of the fans that are really starting to tune in a lot more, and they're coming back. So that's a good thing.
It is.
We're
not going anywhere.
Yeah, you can also find us on Instagram as well. We're starting to post up photos, and the drivers. We're going to get Jay back on there again, so he's going to make a second appearance on the Instagram, but at Fastest Hour as well as Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.com/The Fastest Hour in Radio. We don't usually start off with open wheel news, so I just figured just for the sake of the fact that we started off with Formula E news, we talk about some other Formula E stuff.
Yeah.
And this I found interesting because Pininfarina is legendary when it comes to making cars. It's a coach builder out of Italy, and they're also a design house, and they've designed some of the most famous automobiles for both road and race that we've ever seen. Mahindra, which has a team in Formula E, has actually purchased Pininfarina. and they're going to help out in their design in Formula E racing coming up here in the next couple of years.
Oh, wow.
That ought to be very, very interesting. The question is whether Mahindra is going to actually, because they do have other interests outside of racing, will they use Pininfarina to do any of their other designs for stuff like that?
You know what they're going to call it? Formula T, Formula Tractor, because it's a Mahindra.
Yes. That's what they're best known for.
Now we're going to have tractors racing.
Hey, we got lawnmowers.
That's right.
We got lawnmowers.
Exactly.
You know, we got, what was that, RV derbies and everything else. You know,
absolutely.
why not?
Might as well go for it. Sky News out of Europe reporting that noted British car maker Jaguar, or Jaguar, as they say in Britain, ready to get back into open-wheel racing. They're going to start up their own Formula E Works team. They're going to get it on the grid for the 2016-2017 season. It would be the latest European automaker following Renault and Citroën and the German-make Audi as they use the platform studying electric cars for consumer use. They got a long way to go before I ever think of one. Sky News said that another as-yet-named automaker is eyeing an entry as well. Jaguar pulled out of Formula One racing after 2004, sold their operations to Red Bull at the request or demand of Ford, who was their parent company at the time. Jaguar since been sold off by Ford. They've merged over with Land Rover. They came up with a comment. Apparently, they've been asked on several occasions throughout the end of the year, any thoughts of maybe using this as a launch to get back into Formula One? Yeah, there was a resounding no that came out of Britain from the Jaguar headquarters. Apparently, they're only interested in doing Formula E right now.
Wow.
I don't know why.
I can never afford one anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Truly Racing is out. They missed the first two events of the Formula E season because of tech and supply issues, so they've withdrawn from the entire season. So that means that 9 teams of 2 cars each are going to make up the rest of the year. And that pretty much wraps up everything. Well, Dragon Racing, which is an American-based team in Formula E, they're going to start building everything in-house. That means chassis and the power plant. Right now they are grabbing their powertrains from Venturi Motorsports, but they're going to build their own next year. Oriol Servia used to run in Verizon Indycar, said that we just want to have full control of the car. I can understand that. As we move over to Formula One, the Scuderia Ferrari, we heard about this from Red Bull recently. They were talking about if they couldn't find a decent engine package, they'd pull out of racing. Ferrari, which has been the founding cornerstone member of Formula One since it began.
Yeah.
If FIA makes certain that they have quote-unquote dumbed-down engines, this is Ferrari's words, not mine, this kind of consumer engine to where they can go and throw it out at everybody, and the demand suddenly become that you have to dumb down the engines for everybody to keep everybody on something of a level playing field, they're ready to pull out of Formula One.
Oh, that would be...
Lose the turbochargers.
I agree completely.
Yeah,
to the V8s,
that's where you need to start, right there. You want to talk about becoming less expensive, you lose the turbocharger, you go back to the tried and true V8, which Ferrari is so well known for. Mercedes makes a real nice one.
Yeah.
You know, Renault, it's not like that they're strangers to it. And Honda, what do? You add 2 more cylinders onto it, big deal.
Yeah, the change really hurt on a lot, so many different levels.
You had 5 cylinders on the Honda.
Well, yeah, they're a little bit down, aren't they? They might need a little more help. Sergio Marchionne, who is the president of Ferrari, quoted by Motorsport.com, said, quote, Ferrari would find other ways to express its abilities to race and win. It'd be a huge shame if Ferrari left, but Ferrari cannot be put into a corner on its knees and say nothing. Now the rules are written in a way that serves lawyers who interpret them. In November 2014, it was clear that it would be possible to use tokens for power unit development. Then this was something that, in a sense, saved Ferrari's season, but we need to simplify the rules. Going back to V8s.
Turbos.
There you go. And create a more manageable regulations where we should not be supported by lawyers but by engineers as it was a few years ago.
I'll look at it this way. You know, if you try something and it doesn't work and it's not working and it's not appealing, you got to go back to what works.
You do.
And that's, you know, like you said, lose them. Just go back. Get back to the original because that was when it was fun. It was good.
Sure.
It sounded right.
Yeah. Well, and we've seen this in big-time auto making, auto building. We've seen this consolidation, if you will. Now, granted, General Motors has always been this huge conglomerate that's now pared down to 4 different marks. Ford now has only, they've sold off everything and they got rid of Mercury, so it's now Ford and Lincoln. But there's the FCA, which is Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. It's amazing how many different makes that they own, which includes Ferrari. They also own Alfa Romeo, which is trying to come back into the United States of America. They're starting off with that little 2-seater coupe. I think it's called the 4C, if I remember correctly. They're about ready to bring in this sports sedan that's called the Giulia, Giulia.
Borefest.
Actually, what they are talking about is that thing is supposed to be a 4-door sports sedan with some massive V8 under the hood. They're trying to take on the BMWs and the Mercedes.
If it ain't got a Hemi, it ain't good for American roads, baby.
I like what you're thinking. That said, Marchione, as he's sitting there talking about Ferrari could be pulled out of Formula One, is saying, well, we might get into it with Alfa Romeo. Dude, make up your mind.
Nobody has a clue. They know deet very low.
Oh, my gosh. It amazes me. How
that's one thing about Formula One. It's had its good times. It's had bad times. They've been on kind of a marginal, boring roll. But that's what I like about dirt late model racing, huh, Jay? It was good yesterday, it's good today, and it's going to be good tomorrow because it's a tried and true format, and it's on dirt.
All right. We found something that works.
Yeah.
And it's fun, it's fast, it's great. Why change it? It's great.
Exactly, and that's where I want to go with this, because I remember when I was the public address announcer and the track announcer for Birmingham International Raceway. He's in this position at Talladega Short Track.
Yeah.
I remember looking at the rule book at BIR, and that included all of the 6 divisions that we ran. They were actually amazingly simple. It wasn't this big, thick book that said, okay, this is how you have to have your seatbelts done. You know, they would go in, they'd say, hey, it passes inspection. As long as you had the basics down. It's a simple rule book. You meet our specifications, we'll let you race.
If you overcomplicate the obvious and make it 10 times more difficult than it needs to be, you're only serving to destroy what you're trying to build.
Yeah, and if you went out and one of my favorite divisions to watch, just because of the vast, wide range of the cars that came in, was what we called the Buzz division.
Street stocks.
Very simple, had to be a front-wheel drive vehicle. And as long as it was a front-wheel drive vehicle that had a V6 or a 4-cylinder, all you had to do was take it off of the junkyard or the showroom lot or whatever it was and make it safe for racing. You had to have the windows done, and you had to have a roll cage, and you had to have a safety seat. Otherwise, you kept that thing 100% bone stock. And you would watch people walk in with everything from a Geo Metro to what was one of the ones that I saw? One person brought in a Lincoln Continental with a V6 in it.
That's how the cruiser division used to be at Green Valley Speedway, but that's how we roll at Talladega with the hot shots. You slap a roll cage in it, take out the windshield, and go party. You know, take out the windows, and there you go. It's always been the same thing. The more rules, the more restrictions you have in short track racing, or frankly for any racing, the more money it costs.
Yeah.
When the rules are simpler, certainly you have to have certain safety things and some certain specs. But when you start throwing all these rules on a car, all it does is deplete the billfold.
As the rule book gets thicker, it becomes more complicated, and it becomes what they end up calling a spec series. And that was the biggest problem that NASCAR had when you went to the Car of Tomorrow. Everyone sat there and complained about the cars being cookie cutter. Everything right down to the engine. The only thing that changed anything was the fact that the rocker covers, the valve covers said Toyota, Chevy, or Ford, or Dodge when they were there. Formula One's dealing with this right now. While you have Ferrari building their own engines, Mercedes building their own engines, Renault building their own engines, for the most part, you're having a hard time telling who's doing what with what, because it looks like this spec series. And while we are talking about it because, number one, it's made a footstep here in the United States of America at Circuit of the Americas Raceway, and it is the world traveling sport that it is, they've got problems that I think NASCAR just now is starting to understand and trying at some level to fix.
Well, another thing you got to look at, too, when you throw all these different things at these owners and these drivers and stuff, everything that you change that's got to be a certain specific, that's got to be all these different rules, all they see is cha-ching, 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 right. And that is going to stop growth. That's going to stop people wanting to get into the sport because you're making it extremely too expensive to get into it in the first place. So, I mean, that's another thing I look at, too. Everything you add on is just another cost that they have to do that's going to kill more potential drivers.
Drivers, exactly. And that brings us into a driver here. I mean, you're a driver owner, effectively. Yeah, really. Look around. Who is it?
He's like, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the track champion in his division. But this is not a cheap thing. I mean, you're going out and you're investing money into your own race cars and how you're putting that thing out onto the track. And I'm not going to sit there and get into your financials by any means, but we know that the bigger the division that you get into, the more expensive it is.
Every penny.
Simple.
If people say, how do you do it? I just spend it before I get it.
Oh, I've already looked.
Count it.
I've already looked in his wallet when he's racing. There's nothing in there.
There's nothing in there. Yeah, exactly. So as you've gone up from your beginnings and you've noticed it get more and more complicated as you go on, have you, and I'll throw this out to either one of you, have you guys seen, because I will admit, I have not seen the actual rule book for getting into NASCAR. Have you seen one?
No.
All I know is that it's thick. That's all I can say, is that this thing is easily a couple hundred pages.
Same like with the NHRA rule book. It used to be rather simple. Now it's started to be the size of the Bible. It's pretty thick. Whole lot of rules. The NASCAR one is just incredible too, because especially all the body specifications and this, that, and the other thing. And once again, that's why I like our dirt track racing.
Yeah.
We're a little bit simpler. We may get a little dirtier, but we race a lot harder.
I tell you what, though. I mean, we've seen it, of course.
Sure.
I was getting a chance to go out to the Talladega short track and see the guys racing. The night you weren't there, but the night I went down to the pits because he was out on the track, he got into a little issue out on the track. We'll just leave it at that because I don't want to go into that one.
That's called short track racing.
But he's down in there, and they are like climbing all over this car, and they're just pushing it down. I'm talking, they're beating it down and getting it back in. Just fix it. Just put that. There we go. Get that, and then get around the car and everything else. So they know how to make things last too.
Sure.
You know what? It's always a classic with Jay. His car could be perfectly straight. It looks absolutely beautiful. All right, he may get through hot laps clean. And then they go for the heat race with a beautiful race car, and he's like a target. Come hit me. And somebody does. And if something's bent and the hood's bent up, and he handles it well. There was one time, I got to be cool up in the booth, and I wanted to say something. But, this guy's got a beautiful race car. He's minding his own business, and va-voom, he gets shellacked. And one deal coming out of turn forward, like third to last race, and it's like, come on, man! But I know that's the deal. I know that's racing.
I think that was the race that I was at.
Yeah, you were.
Might have been
the one he got shellacked, and it was like, really?
Yeah,
really.
That was the Georgia boys.
yeah, it was. So, well, we're going to talk about the ice bowl in a little bit when we allow. We'll going to try to get a hold of Lynn Phillips from Talladega here in a few minutes, and we can talk about the ice bowl and some of the Talladega stuff. But man, I tell you, folks out there in radio land, if you come out to Talladega and you come and see Jay Schiller, you will always leave with a smile. The guy is just
Guaranteed.
absolutely hilarious, and he's got a beautiful race car, and he's got more hair than I do.
He's got more hair than I think any of us do here on the show.
That's not going to take much.
Well, and let me say this, and I've been a fan of NASCAR for quite a long time. I'm very pleased to be able to say that since the late 1970s, I actually kind of was brought about. Well, yeah,
Rookie.
But again, I was 9 years old in 1977. What do you want? But I was able to kind of understand it at that point in time. And when you watch the races, I remember watching the 1979 Daytona 500, and the Oldsmobile looked like the Oldsmobile that you could buy out of the showroom.
I didn't see it.
That's why they call them.
Go watch the film.
That's why they call them stock cars.
Exactly.
They were so cool back then.
Exactly. But here's the thing. The France family had this iron fist control over it, and if you walked up and you were driving the Ford of that day and you were complaining that Oldsmobile or Buick or whoever else it was out there and eating your lunch, Brian France would sell you one of two things. Okay, I'm going to give you two options. You need to go to Ford and tell them and work with them to build a better car, or number two, go change cars.
Yeah.
And that was what led to spec body templates of today, which I don't really care for, but they had to do it because cars definitely had an advantage, and the whiners got all the attention.
That's how we got some really cool cars back then.
Absolutely.
They tested. They were track tested. So,
trust me, they didn't sell well when they were brand new, but those famed wing cars from Chrysler Corporation,
Superbird,
the Superbirds and the Plymouth Roadrunners, they didn't sell well when they were brand new, but I'm here to tell you those things are worth megabucks now, and they would never have seen the light of day on a roadway if it had not been for NASCAR.
Hemi Superbirds are going for $1 million plus, especially with the manual transmission.
I saw one that was literally a barn find. This thing is trash. It's rusted out and everything.
It was just found not long ago.
Yeah, it was just found. I mean, the thing is trash. The headlights are popped and stay open. It's got rust all over the place. But because of the fact that it is an original, numbers-matching, low mileage, less than 20,000 miles on the odometer.
Hello.
I want it.
That thing is going to go for anywhere at an auction from $250,000 to $500,000 on potential.
See, and that's what you get with rust. I mean, so could you imagine if it was actually well taken care of?
Twice that.
Look at Mark.
I may be rusty, but I'm well taken care of. I know you're listening, sweetheart, and I appreciate that.
She about to call in and jump you.
I do got something to aggravate her about.
Uh-oh.
But speaking about Kyle Busch.
Oh, we'll get back to him. Trust me, we'll get back to him. A couple more notes on Formula One here. Haas F1 team, well documented here on the show, got that technical alliance with Ferrari. Ferrari noted for, like Jay is noted now, for his red color paint scheme. Now, apparently, Gene Haas has said he's not going red in the team's inaugural season. A newspaper report out of Italy says that Haas F1 is likely going to sport a bright yellow color on their racers.
That makes
yellow?
No sense.
I've never seen anything that he's done in NASCAR or anything else with yellow.
I was thinking red and black.
Yeah, do black with a red stripe or something to that effect.
Yeah,
if you want to stay away from Ferrari, go black.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the paint schemes that he's run with the 41 and Kurt Busch, which is his guy. I've never seen yellow. Where is he coming up with a yellow?
Maybe they just threw like darts at a dartboard.
Maybe. Now, that said, Haas F1 team's not commenting on this report, so it's not finalized. It's just one of those rumors.
Could be Subway.
Nice.
That's true.
Nicely done. Let's see. What else do I want to get to here? Some of the stuff we can just wait until next week, because, again, next week we're going to be on for 2 hours. So.
Did you happen to hear the big change in drag racing?
What do you got?
Erica Ender-Steven, two-time world champion and one heck of a racer,
yeah,
has teamed up with Jeg Coughlin in Elite Motorsports in Dodges. She left Chevrolet. She's going to the Mopar camp.
Sweet. Which Dodge are they running? Charger or Challenger?
The Avenger.
They're bringing back the Avenger.
Oh, excuse me. Not Avenger. Hello, that was years ago. Excuse me. The Dodge Dart. Dodge Darts.
Wow.
A Dodge Dart.
You're going the Dart?
Yeah,
I think I would have gone Challenger. I think I would have gone Challenger.
I would have gone anything but a Dart.
Dart seems like an odd choice.
Dart looks like a neon.
Yeah, exactly. That's the replacement for the neon.
He's like,
huh. All right, then. When we come back, we'll talk about the preliminary schedule for the 2016 Formula One season. A little bit of IndyCar as well, because A.J. Foyt's got things settled down. And we'll talk a little bit of NASCAR. You mentioned the name that he calls Voldemort.
Yes.
We'll talk a little Kyle Busch, because he went back under the knife earlier this week. We'll talk about that as well. That's the first half of the fastest hour in radio. Again, 9411011, toll free, 866-551-9933. Those are the numbers. Call in. We'd love to hear from you.
Over 8% of smokers nationwide have ditched cigarettes for vaping, and now it's time for you. Let's face it, you've wanted to quit smoking for a while and just couldn't find the help you needed to succeed. Wild Vapors has the solution to your cigarette addiction. There is a healthier alternative to cigarettes that can break the routine and help you beat cigarettes once and for all. Wild Vapors in Sylacauga offer a full line of vaping supplies and guidance to help you quit cigarettes without the suffering. You will be able to say, cigarettes no longer own me with Wild Vapors. Join thousands of Americans that have already found the joy of being smoke-free with vaping. Owners Eddie and Shelley opened Wild Vapors to help smokers end cigarette addiction with a custom vaping plan. By using the highest quality USP ingredients, they create their juice in an off-site clean room facility, then bring it to the store so you can have confidence in what you're vaping. No artificial sweeteners in their formula. You can even order their juice over the phone for delivery if you're out of the local area. Make your next pit stop at Wild Vapors today in the Sylacauga Walmart Shopping Center or their Alexander City location. Call 256-369-2569. Stay on track with Wild Vapors.
4 new tires and a tank of gas, and we're back to the fastest hour in radio on Superstation 101.
Christmas is the time to say I love you. Share the joys and laughter and the tears. Christmas is the time to say I love you. And the feeling that lasts all through the year.
All right, so this guy's got a 14-hour road trip. Knows he's got Christmas music on the way. He's complaining over the fact that I'm going to play one of the least played Christmas songs of all time.
The last time I went to Maryland, driving, I heard this song 4 times.
You're starting to sound like Kyle Busch.
Complain.
Did he really just say that?
Yes, he did.
No cupcakes for you.
By the way, for those of you that don't know what this is Billy Squire's take on a Christmas song. Christmas is the time to say I love you. I don't like. There's a thing that just bugs the living daylights out of me. I'm editing myself as I go along. When it comes to Christmas song and Christmas radio stations, I understand the appeal to it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The vast majority of them have about 7 Christmas songs done by 50 different people.
Shoot me. I hear it every day on my chip route.
I'll be real honest with you. If I never hear Brenda Lee's Rocking Around the Christmas Tree ever again, it'll be too soon.
Oh. We can always do our own Christmas album.
The station right here in Birmingham that is all Christmas and begins the day after Halloween.
Yes.
Plays that song about every 90 minutes.
No, there's one down in Chelsea that started in August.
I tell you what, you won't hear any Christmas music played by me when we have the Ice Bowl here in January. It's all racing,
It
baby.
better be.
There you go.
Dustin should have been with me Christmas parade. I mean, people was playing Christmas music, and I fired my race car up, and people run.
See, that's my kind of Christmas music right there.
Did you hear about that?
No, I hadn't.
Tell the story about that.
We was in the parking lot getting ready, so I had to crank my car up to get it warmed up.
Sure. Which, by the way, non-muffled.
Yes.
Kids,
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Kids took off running, literally. Running, kids and grown people. Grown people, police comes over there to me. Says, "Are you going to run that?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Not in the parade, are you?" I said, "Yeah, we're going to crank it up and down then." He said, "Can you kind of keep the noise down? It's scaring people. And the motorcycles behind you, they're worried about it smoking." I said, "Bud, if this thing smokes, I'll junk it."
Really?
No, it's a big race car, but we can keep it quiet.
Keep it quiet.
The only time
It's a race car.
The only time you want to see a race car smoking is when you're smoking the competition.
Yeah, that's pretty
I'm
much
doing
it.
a burnout.
Or when it's Kyle Busch.
We cruised down the road. We was told it. But I'd have Ricky. He'd be in the car where Dustin was supposed to be in, but.
Wow, that Goodyear.
It took him 30 minutes. Took him 30 minutes.
Feels good.
There you go.
Kids would go holler, "Hey, look at the race car!" I'd shake my hand, Ricky, crank it up, and the kids like.
Love it. That's
Forget
good
the
stuff.
candy.
That said, we were talking during the break about the Ice Bowl coming up, and you,
Yes.
of all people, were not exactly sure of the date.
Well, I haven't had my full coffee kick in yet.
No,
That's no excuse.
But I know it's coming up in January, and I see that when you're going to crank him up here, my good friend and my boss at the track, Lynn Phillips, has called into the show. And before we get to talk to Lynn, I just want to say how much I care for this guy. And he gave me a break that I thought I'd never get. You know, I did some other tracks, but he gave me a break at Talladega, and I'm so thankful and pleased. And I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to be there until he cans me.
There you go. I like that
He's
way
going
of
to have to
thinking.
escort him off the property.
Lynn, welcome into the fastest hour in radio. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. It sounds like y'all having fun this
We're
morning.
doing the best we can.
I just hope that Jay can get out of town before Sheriff Hale knows he's in the Jefferson County.
We're in our secret little bunker, so we're hoping that Mike Hill's not caught up
There
to
you
us
go.
yet.
There you go.
We have secret tunnels as well.
Yes, we do.
Well, that's good. You need them. I'm sure some of that crew needs them.
Well, let's kind of talk a little bit of Talladega short track here for just a couple of minutes. We talked about the Ice Bowl here, and those people. We talked about Five Flag Speedway hosting the Snowball Derby here recently. These are things that really should be bigger on the nationwide scene in racing. And I think, to me, at the very least, as much as I've heard about it, and this will be the first chance when I come in January to actually have been there in person, but from everything I've ever heard, the Ice Bowl is something that really we need to be putting on at least a regional, if not the national map.
Well, it is. It's a happening. I'll tell you, it's grown over the years. It started pretty modest, and it took a few years to really establish the name, and it's grown, and it's become one of the top races in the country. It's of course it happens when there's not much else going on in the country, but it's kind of the wintertime place to be to see some good dirt track racing.
How big are we expecting the field to be?
I would say at least 300 cars. I know Lynn can say we've had probably upwards of over 350. And what's interesting about this race, as Lynn said, is, not much going on, but still, you think it's January. We've been in there when the weather's been in the 20s. It's been sometimes in the 60s. We've had rain. We had a rainy one a couple of years ago, which turned out to be an epic weekend. But it is true, like he said, a happening, a get-together, and a race breaks out. You see people you don't see for all year that are other tracks. They come and race races with us one time a year, and it's just a great thing that Lynn and the late Alfred have put together, and it truly is a crown jewel in the South, this race is. And I am so stoked. I can't wait.
25 years strong now, too. 25th annual this year coming up.
Okay, so when exactly, Lynn, is this taking place?
It's January 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it is a unique event. It's at a time of the year, even this far south, weather plays a big part in the success of it. But people have learned that they dress heavy coats, and you may see people in the pits, building a fire. I mean, it's a happening. And we've had cars, talking about the car count, the all-time record, I think, was in 2005. We had a great weekend weather in the high 60s. We had 403 teams. Wow. But it's settled down to around 350. I think this year, if we get good weather, we might be between 350 and 400 again. But it's a real unique event. It draws people. Most of them come from the east of the Mississippi. But I'll tell you, we've had the furthest driver that ever pulled to Ice Bowl was from west of Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah, that was James Chavez.
That's telling.
He made a long toe, and I seen him race in California. But it's kind of interesting. You go to the Ice Bowl, like you roll in there Saturday morning, and what used to be the parking lot is the overflow in the pits. So you have to park a little bit. There'll be cars lined up around turns 1 and 2 in the parking lot, and we have very large pits at Talladega, huge pits.
Yeah. Dustin and I have been through there. They're very deep. It goes almost all the way to the interstate.
There ain't an inch of open real estate in there, and like I said, it's so exciting because you see cars you never see except for once a year, and it's daytime conditions, and it gets to be a driver's track, and it's just so much fun. There's electricity. There's just so much electricity and atmosphere, and everybody's glad to get out of the dang house and then see some late model or street. Oh, it's really cool. I want to mention this, and Lynn will talk about this. This year, we're going to have Neesmith Racing help us out on the deal with some promotion, and they're going to help us run the program. And the Neesmith Street Stock Series will be on hand, which is real big. And Neesmith will do a great job. Adam Stewart and Mike Vaughn, series founder, are going to do a really good job. And I'm excited about that. And you'll get to hear Roby Helm doing some announcing when I'm taking a break and vice versa. And Neesmith is going to be a big boost for us. And I'm sure we're going to have a giant field of street stocks because Lynn's put up some good money for these guys. We've added some money to the purse, and it's going to be really good.
Nice. Now, when it comes to drivers from all over the country, and you just talked about the Snowball Derby, which grabs some people that are recognizable names from people that just kind of paid to the top attention there. Are we going to see names like that, very recognizable names?
I would say in the dirt world we will. You never know who may show up. We've had people like Shane Clanton. He won it a couple years ago. You'll see Ray Cook, maybe Bub McCool, plus all our local Talladega guys, the Georgia racers, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. A lot big contingent of Tennessee drivers come down, and that's always a good rivalry. And some of the other tracks will bring out cars, and you never know what kind of a national name you might see roll into Talladega. The money's good, and that's for sure, and it's just fun to go out racing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lynn, we're looking forward to it. Dustin and myself, we're going to bring the show out in force. John, come on. We'll make sure that you're able to be out there. We'll be out there in force so that we can report from on the scene effectively, and that way we've got first eyewitness accountings thereof. That said, let's look at it from the driver's standpoint. When you get ready for an ice bowl, a little bit of chaos, I'm sure, for you as far as making sure that you're prepared and fighting for your position, whether you're in the pits or whatever it is. Is there, from a driver's standpoint, what's the attitude in the pits? You guys still helpful? You guys looking at each other with kind of a questioning eye about what has he got versus what do I have?
I'm the same way. I don't, if it's ice bowl, if it's a weekend show, if you need help, come help me. I'll help you.
Okay.
I don't change any of that. But we look at the ice bowl like a Daytona 500.
Okay.
That's the break of the season. Hey, we had a little break. Then let's run. Then what we do is gets us prepared for the next one, what we're changing. It is fun, but it's like a luck of a draw race. I mean,
sure.
It's something you want to make. It ain't, the track is not like it is all year season. It's a whole complete different animal. So what you run during the season ain't what you're going to run at the ice bowl.
Yeah, I bet you could talk to Lynn about this, how much preparation there is on the track. And Lynn, you guys have been working on the track, and you had Johnny Stokes and Magnolia working on the track. How long does it take to prepare for the Ice Bowl weekend with the logistics of food and organizing the race and track preparation? How long does it take for you?
It takes a couple of weeks to get the track ready. We've about got it ready now. We are, and I know you'll tell everybody, we're practicing tomorrow. Having an open practice, all divisions, free grandstand admission. Fans want to come out and watch. We're going to have a lot of race cars testing and tuning tomorrow, all divisions. But I'm fixing to head down there now and do some more work on the track. But I'm telling you, track is in good shape. But it takes a couple of weeks because the track goes dormant after the season, and it takes grading and stuff because you get a lot of rain. It starts loosening up, but we've got it good and smooth and packed in. It's just like Jay said. The track is different because you're running in the daytime, and you get that many cars for 4 days, and it's a tough deal. You don't need as much motor for this race as you normally would, and it's a handling package deal. And but it does take a lot of work in getting the concession. The logistics of some of that is pretty tough because we're getting ready over a holiday period, and it's just it has some unique things that you have to do to put on a race right around the holidays.
Very nice, and I know that you guys are looking forward to it. But again, as you mentioned, right around the holidays, coming up just after the holidays, a week after New Year's, it's kind of a bit of a scramble time for you to hope that weather and whatever else that happens over the time from Christmas to New Year's doesn't basically just delete everything that you've already done or just mess up everything that you've already done. That's
right. That's right. We want 4 dry days, preferably with a temperature above 40, 45 degrees and sunshine. But, we run it, like you said at the start, we've run it when it was colder than that, but it really needs to be around 40, 45. Everybody loves it. I mean, they just dress up in heavy coats and have at it.
There you go.
You know, what's funny is you can't recognize half the people like you do in the weathers. They're all bundled up, and all you can see is a pair of eyes, and they're behind sunglasses, and they go, "Hey, late model Mark, this is so-and-so." I go, "I didn't recognize you because you look like an Eskimo."
From a driver's standpoint, if it gets to the point where it is one of the really, really cold snaps, what do you do?
I'm still there.
How do you prepare yourself when you're getting into the car? I mean, in the car, you're going to get some heat off of the engine, but you're still got effectively wide open windows and we'll throw out a number here. Let's say it's 32 degrees when you guys are given the order to crank engines. That wind's coming in as you're going around the track. I'm thinking that the heat off of the engine's not really helping that much.
Well, your adrenaline's rushing. It's just ungodly amount. There's no amount. What we usually do is we jack the cars up. We come up with a cover, and we'll keep the heater up underneath them things to keep all the gear lubes and stuff kind of warm. As far as cold, I've never got really cold. The most I've ever got cold is probably just sitting in staging, waiting to go on the racetrack.
Gotcha.
But I remember, I believe it was in 90, I want to say 97, 98. It was so cold, the pits literally froze over.
Wow.
Whoa.
We was breaking ice walking through the grass.
We've had the water truck freeze a couple of times. I'm sure Lynn can tell you that, and the pipes in some of the facilities have burst, throwing us a curveball, but
you have to be real careful about the racetrack freezing, but that's one advantage of running in the daytime. You don't have much moisture left on it as the sun goes down on Saturday. And there's been several times we had to end the program a little bit earlier on Saturday. So
very good.
But let's hope it's in the 50s and
absolutely. I'm hoping.
And sunshine and dry, and everybody can come out and enjoy it. And we'll be looking forward to seeing everybody. And I want to mention something this morning.
Absolutely.
I want to send Tolly Short Track sympathies out to the Allison family. We lost Judy Allison yesterday, Bobby's wife, and Bobby raced with us several times years and years ago, but he's been part of the Alabama gang and scene here, and that family's faced so much tragedy in the past. And it's just a sad day today to hear about this.
Yeah, it is, no doubt about it. Lynn, we appreciate the time this morning, and like I said, on behalf of myself, Dustin, and John here at the Fastest Hour in Radio, we haven't had the chance to meet you yet. Hopefully we're going to get the chance to meet you when we're out there for the Ice Bowl.
Looking forward to it, and Merry Christmas to everybody, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely, Lynn. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Have a Happy New Year, and we'll see you in the New Year.
Sounds good.
Take care
Thanks,
now.
guys.
All right. Because of who's on the phone. I will mention this I will mention this one story, and then we're just going to spend the rest of the time talking local stuff. 2015 Sprint Cup champion, Voldemort, Kyle Busch, went under the knife Thursday to have the screws and the plates removed from his foot and leg, helping him stabilize those injured parts. He's going to begin rehabbing from the surgery, he says, soon after the new year. Of course, the well-documented wreck in the season opener at the Daytona International Speedway in the Xfinity Series, causing the injury, caused him to miss the first 11 races of the Sprint Cup season. Obviously did not deter him. 5 race wins and a championship later. Surgery, by the way, turned to success, and at this time, his doctors feel as though he will be ready for the 2016
Did you say Kyle
Daytona
Busch
500.
champion? Hi, honey.
I did. Here's the thing. I say this. Not a one of us, including late model Mark, picked Kyle Busch to be the man hoisting the championship.
Correct.
So before you go off walking around thinking you're all this and that.
Couldn't have paid me to pick him.
I'll always pick Junior, but that was great stuff.
Yep.
So how are you doing as we are less than a week away from Christmas? Mrs. Late Model Mark.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm great. Are you kidding? I'm always great. I'm married to the best man on legs. So,
oh, Lord.
With that being said, let me just say the only music that qualifies for Christmas is Elvis. Merry Christmas to all you guys. I hope you have a blessed and safe time off if you get any of that.
Now I really have the urge to play Porky Pigs doing Good Christmas.
Or the barking dog one.
Don't start with me. You guys, I hate to say it lovingly, but real racing has already happened in this world. Yeah. The old days, before they had, you get to, the lucky this and the happy that, that's when real racing existed. So, look back.
All right.
As opposed to forward.
Well, okay, let's
That means if you get lapped, you don't get a free pass because you're
Right.
at the back of the field.
All right, let's talk about that.
My husband and I don't agree with that anyway.
Okay, well, let's talk about that for a second because, and Dustin and I have both seen this, and it was brought up right after he clinched the championship in the fact that people are wondering what in the heck has happened to their NASCAR when you have a guy who misses the first 11 races of the season and yet is able to hoist the trophy at the end of it all. Good thing, bad thing?
Good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, oh, sure. You got to catch him. Catch me if you can. If you're that good, that's what makes competition. They weren't cheating. They did it legally, and apparently everyone else needs to work a little bit harder.
Okay, let's go around the table on it. Good thing, bad
Mark
thing.
doesn't agree with me, but hey.
I think it's a good thing that Kyle won the championship because he raced his M&Ms off.
Right.
And he was up in the front, winning, getting top fives,
Right.
working over the field when he had no business being out in the race car. He was still hurt. And then he raced to so many wins, and the guy is just one heck of a driver. I used to not like Kyle Busch, and then I started liking him, and after he got hurt, I really started liking him. I mean, nobody will be more on top of my list than Dale Earnhardt, but I can see Dustin's just like squirming over there, but that's okay.
All right.
I think he's worthy.
Okay, Jay first.
Good.
Good thing or bad thing, the way that this has broken down this year?
Good. I mean, like Mark says, I didn't like Kyle Busch at first, but hands off to the guy. The guy's a great driver.
Exactly.
And one thing I do got to say to you, Miss Leavenworth, I did find out this week. I listened to an interview the other day with Kyle Busch. They asked Kyle, what was he thinking the last few laps? What was he thinking? He said all he could think about is one of his son's TV shows that he watches before he goes to bed, The Happy Kangaroo. He was singing the kangaroo song.
All right. Dustin, you're going to have to take Kyle Busch out of this, okay? Put any driver in this situation, misses the first 11 races of the year, gets themselves into the chase, wins the championship. Good thing? Bad thing?
It's a double-edged sword. It's a good thing because it just shows the caliber of the driver and the fact that they have such resilience that they can come in after 11 races and still hoist that championship at the end of the year. But I think also at the same time, it's bad because there's a lot of fans of the sport who are really ticked off at the fact that he got the waiver after missing the 11 races, still was able to come out there and do what he did. It was not a small feat to be able to come out and win 4 or 5 races, but at the same time, a lot of people feel that it really truly wasn't fair.
Yeah, it shows the talent level and the ability to build good cars. So for Joe Gibbs Racing and for Kyle Busch in this case specifically, if you can go in and you can do what he did after missing 11 races and being certainly behind the 8 ball, to use an old cliche, and he was able to get himself ineligible as by the rules, you got to tip your hat to him.
Amen.
I've never been a big fan of the chase. I kind of like the elimination format because it puts more emphasis on you need to do well every single race. Before we had the elimination format, you could have one of those quote-unquote mulligan races where you could go, okay, I blew the engine, but you know what, I can still win the championship. In this case, you can't.
Yeah.
We've seen that. That's obvious now. Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, trust me, they showed us that in spades.
Yeah, walls don't do good on cars.
But overall, I'm not a big fan of the chase, quite frankly. I'm really not.
You know who else isn't? Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, because since they brought this about, he's not been able to do well in the elimination format. So, there you go.
I'm glad it's not Jimmy Johnson, sweetheart. What do you think about Jimmy Johnson not winning the championship? Oh, darn. What a shame, right?
It's lovely, dear.
Yeah, but one more thing, and then I'll get out of your guys' space, which is next time when you do the promo for next year, just leave Danica off, please.
No, she is a staple. She must remain. We're under contract with James Franco now.
I'm just playing with you guys. Hey, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas. Thanks for helping my husband live his dream. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you next year.
Well, thank you. Hey, thanks for the Christmas presents
for all the
as well.
goodies. Absolutely.
All the goodies.
Yeah, that's for commercials.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Take care, hon. Bye.
By the way, we found the version of Blue Christmas that I want to play. So that said,
can we do a quick snowball derby thing before we go to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Got a couple of things we need to do. First of all, we need to thank the people that are helping us put this show on each and every week. Our good friends down in Sylacauga at Wild Vapors.
That's right. It's almost Christmas time. We're less than 1 week away from Christmas. John over there, he's doing the vaping thing now. I'm doing the vaping thing. I'm at 15 months now. 15 months smoke free. You can too. Christmas time is here. Take care of your loved ones. Get them off of cigarettes and get them down to Wild Vapors in Sylacauga and Alexander City. Shelly and Eddie Bowman have become not only just great friends, they've really become some of my best friends, and now they're great friends of the show.
Absolutely.
The response is there. We got people going into the shop. They're taking advantage, and they're knowing what's going on. They're going in and finding out the information.
And we talked about this last week, dealing with the juice situation, and the reason why we vetted Wild Vapors out is because of the fact that when it comes to it, the studies that are out there show that some of the chemicals that people are putting in these juices that you're putting into these vapors, they're not good for you.
Yeah.
Wild Vapors make sure that they don't do that.
That's right, they do. It's in an off-site clean room facility. Shelly and Eddie have been very staunch against those types of things being put into juices. That's why they opened Wild Vapors, and that's why they have such great knowledge. They can back up their stuff. They stand by their product. I stand by their product. And they've got some special holiday hours coming up, too, as well. Holiday hours coming up for this Christmas, so you can still get in there and get a chance. On Christmas Eve, they're going to be open till 9 p.m. That's 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. They're, of course, going to be closed on Christmas. But New Year's, they're going to be open New Year's Eve, 10 to 8. New Year's Day, noon to 6, and they're going to be closed the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Well, let's face it. If one of your resolutions for the new year is to quit smoking, you need to be checking into this, and you need to be checking into it right now.
Yeah, and the thing is if you make the resolution, stand by the resolution.
Absolutely.
Stop by Wild Vapors in Sylacauga in the Walmart Shopping Center, or you can stop at their Alex City location down there by Central Alabama Community College, or give them a call, 256-369-2569, and visit them on Facebook, too. Shelly puts all the information, facebook.com/wild.vapors.5.
Yep, you mentioned the phone number. Call them.
Yes.
If you're anywhere in our listening area, that includes everybody that's up in the Huntsville, Decatur, Athens, Madison, Florence, Muscle Shoals, Haleyville, Jasper area, Gadsden, Anniston, doesn't matter. Call them because they can also send this to you.
That's right. They can mail it out to you as well. So you can call in with your favorite types of juice that you find through them, and they can send it right out to you no matter where you are in the world.
Which means that all of you that are listening on TuneIn or 101WYDE.com, you're in as well. We've talked a lot about it. Talked about the Ice Bowl. Looking forward to it.
You bet.
Give us some details. Obviously, early January, first weekend of January, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If we want to go and we want to make sure that we got our tickets, how can we find out?
TalladegaShortTrack.com. That's all the information, the Ice Bowl schedule and what's cooking there. We have all our divisions on hand. Thursday and Friday is going to be practice. Saturday is going to be furious. A lot of qualifying, some heat races to set up Sunday's race. Things get going at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, 12 noon on Sunday. And I would highly suggest you come to this race because, like Lynn said, it happening just breaks out, and it's just a great event.
We're going to be there.
They got some qualified on Friday night. And
we have for the
on
hot
Saturday.
shots, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have enough time. I'll try to blabbermouth this.
Try it.
real quick, Snowball Derby in Pensacola, Five Flag Speedway. Christopher Bell driving a Kyle Busch Motorsports
Talked
car.
about it last week.
Qualified like over 70 cars. Oops, had a body panel infraction. DQ'd. Put on the back of a 22-car field in the last chance race on Saturday. Won it. On Sunday, started 32nd, 300 laps of racing action, a whole bunch of lead changes. Bell takes the lead late. Oops. On the end of the race in technical inspection, you have 58% left side body weight. He had 58.3. DQ. Chase Elliott won the Snowball Derby. Oops.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Jay, okay, 2015 season, 2015 track champion out there at Talladega Short Track. If you could sum up your season in one word for this past season, what was it? What would it be?
Tired.
I like it.
And dented fenders.
That's
so
sad.
Ice Bowl coming up, of course. You're going to be going out there for that.
I will be
What are
there.
you looking for this year? What are you looking to accomplish this year? Are you gonna go back-to-back championships?
Super late models.
Super late model.
I'm a hoping, man.
All right, so the launch from 2015 into 2016 while you're tired, have you excited about 2016?
I'm looking forward to it. Got some new deals, working motion deals, and got a fastest hour on the radio in my car.
There you
right.
go.
I love that.
That's what we love.
That's awesome.
We're going to be there.
Thank you so much for that.
We'll be
buddy.
there in the Ice Bowl. We'll be
Yes.
there throughout the course of the season as well. And, of course, we're not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, for the next 2 weeks, 2 hours. Start at 7 a.m., go until 9. You're on the road.
I'm on the road.
Be careful.
I will.
To everybody out there, Merry Christmas. We appreciate you listening because next time we talk, it'll be after Christmas.
Yeah. See ya!
It's snowflakes. It start falling. It'll be there to your windows. It'll be blue. In memories, it's started calling.